Oh, here we are. Hi, everyone. Welcome to March. March
Energies.
energy. The energies around March,
Yes.
and with Ness and I, and it's one of my favorite things I get to do every month. Is hang out with Ness. Number one. Number two, we get to really do kind of a deeper dive, adding astrology and intuition as well as some tarot, just to show us some pictures of what we can look forward to or not for the month, or just be prepared, right?
Yeah. To better handle those sways when it comes.
Yeah.
What's the landscape look like? So yeah, I'm gonna provide astrology. Deb is going to provide her tarot, and I've had a lot of collabs, but Deb's tarot since May of last year has been like 100% accurate in terms of reading the energies of the week. So folks, you really want to stay tuned to when she pulls the tarot, write it down, engage. And your tarot for this week was 4 of Pentacles upside down and 10 of Pentacles upside down. And I think we saw the State of the Union yesterday about things potentially being upside down. Were you able to watch it, Deb, yesterday with there were 3 of them, I think.
I didn't watch any of it. I didn't want to watch the State of the Union. I knew that he was going to talk for 300 hours. Yes. And I didn't want to subject my soul to that. So bless everyone who did it for us, but I did not. I did catch little clips of it and people's feedback. I did research that, and I did read the news this morning and got all the feedback from that. But yeah, I didn't watch it, Ness. But you watched.
I watched it, but protect your energy. No, I think that's good for you to know what will enrage you and what not to. I had it like white noise in the background while I was doing other things. But yeah, it was 1 hour and 48 minutes. That was, I believe, 21 minutes longer than the previous longest speech, which was Clinton in the 90s. There were a couple takeaways for me for the speech. And I feel like really take 10 steps back. The main takeaway, and folks, I don't mean to say this to fearmonger or get anyone, scared, is I felt the entire speech was a giant inside joke to the MAGA base. I didn't feel he was trying to appeal to independents, which he's losing the past, 3 months, 6 months. Independents have been walking away from him in droves. He's not really appealing to like the Hispanic base that he had during the November 2024 election. He's not trying to appeal to them at all, that he's, losing and he's trying to fold back in. It was a giant inside joke to the MAGA base. And that makes me uncomfortable because the last time I saw him move like this was when he announced Vance as his nominee. It was just the Butler assassination attempt. He announced Vance as his nominee, I think 24 hours or 48 hours later. And Rachel Maddow on her show said, this is like the worst pick ever because it doesn't bring any different people into the tent of his nomination. And so, when I look back at that, it was like he was acting like the fix was in. When I think about the speech last night, unfortunately, folks, it feels like he's acting like the fix is in. He doesn't need to appeal to moderates or independents, which makes me very uncomfortable in terms of what he believes to be true. So I want Deb, I love you to pull cards on his morning after energy. What does he feel now in terms of how it went? And then Abigail Spanberger had her speech, and because he went so late, her speech was later, like it was pushed back. So I could imagine people on the East Coast maybe skipped out both the end of his speech, but perhaps hers as well. And then after that, the Alex Padilla did his Spanish rebuttal, and I loved it. And folks, I really recommend listening to it because he actually uses very simple Spanish. And so you can understand it, especially if you understand any other Latin language like Italian or French, you'll really have an easy time picking it up. But he also was very fiery. He switched to English in certain points to emphasize his point. So I was surprised by Alex Padilla's speech. But yeah, what is Trump feeling the morning after?
Well, and he did tell us we'll never have to vote again. Remember when he was? He's like, this is the last time you'll have to vote, guys. So So it doesn't surprise me that he's in that mindset and that he feels it's already in the bag. However, they're planning to take that over, but it is disturbing at all kinds of levels. And, my feeling when I step in, just stepping into his energy is it was successful to him. He feels good about it. He said and did everything he wanted to. And what energizes him, what I feel his energy is that he didn't have anybody pushing back in the moment. He got to have the stage. He got to have and just say whatever. Nobody was pushing back on him. That's like.
And given that people have loosely diagnosed him as a narcissist, that was like the ultimate drug. To be at a podium like that, to have everyone kind of follow every word like that. So I could see him really having, a very hard time.
Yeah.
Sorry, a very good time with all of it.
Yeah. And the cards follow that whole theme. You have the nine of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, and the Queen of Cups, bringing in a solid energy of, I got up there, I did everything I wanted to, I'm solid. He feels like it was all just wonderful.
Interesting.
He feels like, and he feels like people supported him. Of course, he didn't have anybody pushing back, and you had all those standing ovations over and over again for him. He feels good, you guys. He feels good. Yeah.
It's interesting too, because when the Renee Good murder happened in the first week of January, I was surprised by the diverse set of reactions to it. I was surprised that it was like a Rorschach test moment where people, if you're on the right, projected one narrative. If you're on the left, you projected another narrative. And usually these situations have more of a cleaner, narrative. And so I was surprised by that. And when I look at the speech last night, I could see a Rorschach test moment where the right could have one interpretation. Especially, he did a lot of moments where he highlighted our military veterans and different military individuals who did acts of service in a way that him and his bone spurs would never do, and granting these medals of honor to them. And so I could see that base feeling very happy, acknowledging our strength, our might. And then I could see another group going, hey, he's being dictator-like and being authoritarian, and that makes me uncomfortable, because a foreign influence wants us to be divided. A foreign influence wants us to kind of go at each other instead of realizing, oh, someone else is doing the bait and switch this entire time. And so, whether I want to be right or them being right, these different factions in America, someone is benefiting from us being polarized. Yeah,
absolutely. And we've been saying this for a decade about, Russia's influence, and their win is when we are divided.
Yeah.
And so divided. And, whenever any of us, I didn't watch it, but when we watch something like that, we all are coming from our own perception, and of course, our own belief system with that. And so we all see a whole different thing. And where some of us might see just this old guy, total sundowners, blah, 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 and lying every other word. Yeah. Someone else is going, oh, and he's doing this. They're grabbing onto anything good that they can put into their narrative to say, see, I did choose correctly when I chose this horrible person. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't want my brain to be hijacked because I feel my values are being violated, and then I want other people's brains to be hijacked because we're not clear thinking. We're not going, hey, actually we do want universal health care, or we do want to all have food on the table, or we do want to feel safe in our homes or our neighborhoods. Like, I want us to come together and make these decisions. But it's like, the clickbaitness of the internet is now entering the space of politics. And this speech really was a version of that. And I feel, his Fox, I haven't looked at Fox News today, if they saw it as a triumph and they're doing their victory lap, but it's not, I miss that whole trying to pull us together and unite us and, see that. And, we'll see in terms of, you want to pull cards on what the reaction was? Like, what was the MAGA base? What were the
Okay.
independents?
All right.
What were the Democrat progressives? What did they think about it?
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. Especially that independent base, because my hypothesis is they were alienated from that.
Yeah, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care anymore to hold any of that space for anybody to try to get people to come on board.
Yeah.
He's done with that. He doesn't care. And he never really did, but he just did.
No, he kind of hit it a bit more. Yeah, he even had moments in the speech yesterday where he was speaking very positive about the economy and not really acknowledging the reality people are facing. So
okay.
It was an opportunity for him to say, hey, I hear it's hurting, record low growth in January and in December, but he didn't. He basically gaslit everyone.
Of course. That's his MO, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Interesting. We have a bit of a. I'm kind of shocked on the MAGA throw on the cards because, I feel like, like you said, they were being preached to and drawn in more of these sound bites and all the things that make them feel good.
Yeah.
But you have both.
Okay.
You have a section of them that were like, okay, a little bit more of like a separation from them, separating themselves even further from them. But then you have the other side that is going, I'm caught up in this and I will stand firm with everything that comes out of his mouth.
Wow.
And all of that. So you have literally two sides of the MAGA feeling, which is interesting to me. All right. So then you have the independent, which are
and it's growing. The percentage of people that identify as independent is so much higher than where it was a year ago. So yeah.
So you have more of a pulling away.
Oh wow.
But you also are gathering like this almost where they are. What is that called when you're so caught in this trauma of things that you just become numb, more numb, and kind of like in their they're creating a a little bit of a
It's changing them, but they're also becoming complacent.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. But yeah. Okay. And then there's the rest of us. How did we feel? And you have exactly. So we felt very manipulated and we felt broken and shattered.
Yeah. Oh, so wow. Yeah. Emotionally, it's very, and that be why people avoided watching it to begin with.
Yeah.
Especially they're in that camp. Sometimes too, especially with that Three of Swords with the MAGA base, I could see those folks watching him. Maybe he'll change. Maybe he'll maybe he'll give checks to everyone. And then they just kind of saw the narcissism on display.
And a lot of these folks are really into the files.
Yeah.
And the lack
I don't think he mentioned it at all. So
Well, he wouldn't, because he wouldn't want to direct it, but we did have some survivors in the audience.
Yes, a lot. We had a lot of survivors in the audience. And then the survivors also had a dual State of the Union Midas Touch, did a People of the Union.
Okay.
I think that's what it was called.
Yeah.
And there were some congressional people that who skipped out, attended that. I think Javier Vieira, from state representative, was there. From California, and then other individuals. Folks, I can't remember all the names, but a lot of people spoke at that one. A lot of community organizers, and they all had like 5 minutes, and so they just offered an alternative view for folks who didn't want to watch the State of the Union. So, yeah. So, okay. So as I'm saying that the fix is in, or they're acting like the fix is in, do you want to just pull cards on the midterms? Like, what do you see? I feel as much as the fix is in, the more weak Trump looks, the more his health declines. I feel the fix might not want to bet on his horse. You know what I mean? Like, because it's as much as, you could say JD Vance will come in and step in, but a lot of the times when they do the fix, they want Trump. They want to use him as the puppet, not Vance as the puppet.
He's the one. He's the
one. Yeah.
He's the cult leader.
So in my own intuition and logic, I could see the fix not being in for him because he looks weak. He looks tired. There's a question of, will he actually make it,
Okay, so in looking at a specific question for that, do you have a specific question we can really hone in?
Let's well, I guess we would pull cards on the midterms, maybe asking a specific question. Do you see the blue wave? And the blue wave means Senate and House of Representatives go blue. We're seeing a lot of special election votes, or districts that are turning blue for the first time, and they've been historically red. And when you make insights there, it naturally says that we'll see this blue wave. So will we see a blue wave, which means House and Senate tilts blue in November? And then we could ask the same question from a different angle: will Trump and the GOP be successful in their fix? Because if they did it once, I could imagine they feel, oh, I can just do it again.
Right.
Not knowing the other side could have been working this whole time to figure out how it happened, what to do, and come back with a strategy.
Okay. I dropped a card on the floor. All right. So it definitely is a stressful time. I can say that. And you're going to see where I want to, I definitely want to rethrow this, because it's not really answering our specific question. It's kind of an overall energy of it. It's not specifically saying, it's definitely not showing a blue wave. Okay. It's showing a struggle. It's showing revelation. It's needing that new perspective. It's needing, but with hard work and diligence, we will have that win. Okay. But it's not, the thing is, we have to have that blue wave to override whatever chaos and shenanigans they're playing in the background. We already, Georgia already is very clear that Elon stole that. So that's out in the open. That's news. That's common news. It's not
what do you mean about Georgia stole Elon stole Georgia? You mean for the next election or for the past one?
The last one. That's come out into the regular news that.
Oh, I didn't know this.
They have evidence. It shows that he interfered with the election in Georgia.
Oh my gosh, this is okay. I'm not as informed. I'm just going to Google on my phone while you pull the cards.
Yeah, Google that.
Yeah. Because once you just need to show one state, and then you can start to pull the thread.
So far, they showed that, and so but then that comes out, and what does anybody do? Nothing. So, so it does show that there was there was interference?
They sent out partially filled absentee ballot applications.
So anyway, that's what I'm seeing in all the cards that I threw down
And
here.
that's sorry, I apologize. This is really new information because there's something called bullet voting. And bullet voting is when you only vote for one candidate and then you leave everything blank.
Right.
And they saw a record amount of bullet voting in Arizona and Nevada. And even in Pennsylvania, Allegheny County, I did my graduate school in Pennsylvania. It's very Democrat. And what they noticed in Allegheny, sorry folks, I'm mispronouncing it, Allegheny County, is that people voted for the Senate and for the House Democrat, but they left out Kamala and so it actually they voted for Trump, but they left everything else out. So it was surprising the behavior of that particular county. But then that's what you're showing because he basically figured out people that weren't voting and then did a vote in their name. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and the thing that really irritates me with that is they have this evidence that he interfered. And what's going to happen? And then you have some guy that registered his dog to vote and he's in prison for 10 years now or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, here you have this massive infiltration of our voting and nothing happens, but you have this guy who it's so unbalanced.
Okay. And so folks, just to clarify, in Georgia, Elon Musk's super PAC is accused of sending partially filled ballots to people, which all they have to do is sign and send it out. And so by sending partially filled out ballots, which shows the Trump candidate on there, that's an interference of election law, especially if people were misunderstanding what was being sent to them and they thought they were participating in an Elon Musk sweepstakes type of thing. So, wow.
Yeah. So there's that.
Okay.
So we're gonna, I think what I'm understanding here when I step into this energy and what my team is saying is we can't be complacent.
No,
we need to be the blue wave.
Yeah.
No matter what it looks like, we need to be that blue wave. And so they can't, so we can override any shenanigans that they're trying to do.
Okay.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Especially
like
with
you just have
the
to
whole narrative, he keeps with the narrative of,
yeah,
you never have to vote again. You don't have to worry.
Yeah.
So even if no MAGA goes out and votes,
yeah,
he still feels like it doesn't
the
matter.
Democrats really need to come out in numbers. We need to find people. We need to register them. We need to get them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we have time. It's not like we have to do it tomorrow. We have time to kind of build up that stamina and really get the vote out and really have these, wow, it's going to be such a fight. I can just feel that too, which is what you pulled. You pulled the tarot. Okay.
We have to still back our elections.
Yeah. So it kind of just really, every side is bringing out their full weapons and it's like a battle to the, it's kind of like this Lord of the Rings giant battle scene type of thing. Oh my goodness.
I like that. Well, I don't know if I like that or not, but I mean, that's a good analogy, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, interesting. Okay. Moving to another topic, the Abigail Spanberger did her rebuttal, and I think it was a great speech to kind of, very succinct, very to the point, but it felt very lukewarm. And not that Trump was this big bombastic thing, but Trump has his own branding and charisma. And I felt Spanberger's speech felt very much, like when that other Jeb Bush ran against Trump, and they were just mismatched in terms of the energies in their toolkit. And so Abigail Spanberger felt like a candidate that would have done very well in the 2000s, would have done very well with that kind of Al Gore type of dynamic, but I don't think she's the now. Yes.
So what I'm hearing here, because I'm listening to, because I didn't watch it, but I'm listening to my team here,
Yeah.
is that you're right. We needed the now candidate out there.
Yeah.
Again, though, we're dealing with a system that's, what's the word, antiquated?
Antiquated, yeah.
And but they still try to pull off the same old tools that they always used that seem to have worked, that don't work any longer. And that's why they chose this way. But what we needed to see is a warrior. And they didn't choose the warrior. They chose the old antiquated way that they always have done it.
Mm-hmm.
When are they going to learn that's not working anymore?
Yeah. It's very nostalgic the way she spoke.
Yeah.
But when you heard, if you folks, I really recommend listening to Alex Padilla's speech. Alex Padilla's speech was now. It felt very current, very now. He outright said, Donald Trump is trying to steal the midterms. Like he said there, he's trying to, he wasn't sugarcoating it. He was exactly what you and I, what we talk about in this YouTube world. Yeah. He's trying to, we say the quiet part out loud here, and he said it as well. But at the same time, Abigail, to also give it, her flowers, sometimes you don't want to let Trump know who the bait and switch is, like who's the real opponent, because you want him to manage him and his influence. I think the other day he texted, Gavin Newsom announced he's dropping out of the presidential race. And one, I was like, wait, did he announce he was going in the two? But you could see that Gavin Newsom lives rent-free in his head, in terms of how he processes this. And so if Abigail did really well, I think, it would distract him in different ways. And so I don't think the rebuttal ever is going to be the most top shining star, of who in the Democratic Party it is. It's just meant to be a counterweight to kind of evaluate Trump more by, like, look at the nostalgia of this type of statesman versus previous type of statesman.
I think that's what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
That's part of what they were trying to do.
And
but for us, we're like, no, we want a warrior. But, that's their strategy they're doing.
Yeah, I think it's, but Alex Padilla, I actually could see, I'm curious if you want to pull cards on it. I could see him running in 2028, if not 2028, the one after. He has what it takes. That's kind of what I feel. He has that fight. I also, to live in a time when we could have I'm going to say this loosely, a brown, president would just be
so important for him to be in
so
there.
Extraordinary.
So great.
It would be just, especially, I'm on the West Coast, and, we were traditionally owned by, Spain and Mexico originally, so we have such a Spanish or Latin history. So it would, I'm curious about, pulling cards on Alex Padilla's future, and then maybe if you want to pull cards on him running for 2028. As you do that, I just want to give folks another subtext. Gavin Newsom, and I loved you pull cards on Gavin Newsom as well, because Gavin Newsom had a gaffe this week. He was speaking to a predominantly Black audience. And when he was speaking predominantly to this Black audience, I think he basically said, I'm just like you. I see I'm the same as you. And it didn't land well, because people are looking at him, you come from a very wealthy family, you had a lot of privilege. And I think he even said, like, I had a 920 SAT score, like, I'm just like you. I don't know if that's appropriate. Well, actually, I don't think he said SAT score, folks. Sorry, let me clarify. But he was trying to relate to the people, but the way he did it was a gaffe, because we're in a time where, saying we're all equal is not enough. Like, I think we have to acknowledge everyone has a different starting point. And so, it feels like he took a step back this week, given how things went. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It feels, he is all about the restoring and the winning at all cost. So he will be part of whatever it takes to take back our country from this fascist regime. So whatever that takes, he's on board.
Okay.
I don't know if he will, right now, it's not giving that answer if he's going to run in 2028, but he's 100% coming in to to do whatever it takes to win at all cost.
Okay, so he's like he'll play and take one for the team, whatever the team needs.
Whatever the team needs,
Whatever
he's
the team
there.
needs. Okay.
So there are some, there are some hidden stuff.
Yeah.
He is willing to come out and be that light. But he wants to make sure that we win at all costs. So whatever that takes is kind of the answer I'm getting as far as running for 2028. I think he would be the perfect candidate.
Yeah. If it was today, the election was today, he would totally be a great candidate just to go for the primary and potentially win it. Okay, what about Alex Padilla? Because if you were someone
that's who I was talking about.
Oh, you were thinking of Alex Padilla. Oh, I thought you were talking about Gavin Newsom.
No, that's Alex Padilla.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I interchanged it. Okay. So he's just use me, whatever you need me, and if you want me to run. Okay, so that's service mentality.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, you guys.
Okay.
I'm not talking about Gavin Newsom being the greatest pick right now. I'm talking about
Alex Padilla. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
That's who I think
would
be a wonderful pick right now, and he'll do whatever it takes to win it.
Yeah. It's such a modern thing as I'm seeing this. It's like if election fraud is just something we live with now. I guess it's always happened, but we're kind of more open eyes to it. Basically, you have to just win enough to override that. Assuming basically both sides do 10% or 20% election fraud. I hope both sides don't do it, but I wouldn't, I want to be open-eyed about this. I don't want to be naive. Then both candidates have to just get that extra oomph to override it.
Yeah.
Wow.
What was the question for
Gavin Newsom? Yeah, Gavin Newsom. What do you think the gaffe hurt him a lot, or what's his momentum moving forward?
Okay, momentum moving forward after this gaffe.
Because Katie Porter had a gaffe.
Yeah, that's right.
6 months ago, where it was caught on camera of her being arguing with a female assistant, like being in her shot, and apparently that did her in. As the nominee for governor. We're still primary. We haven't settled on what the Democratic nominee is here in California, but it hurt her a lot. And so I'm curious if this gaffe really hurt Gavin.
Okay, let's take a look. It is a setback for him. But he's going to take action quickly.
Of course he is. He's an action bias kind of person.
Yeah. He also is one that wants to win it all. As far as he doesn't care who does at this point. He just wants someone in there to take this regime out. Yeah. So it did set him back a little bit. So we have him set back.
Yeah. So he's going to have to work on it.
But again, he wants to win at all costs. So we have to win that whole thing again. And the Eight of Wands shifting that narrative quickly as possible to put him back into kind of position to be a solid candidate.
Okay, that's great. Yeah.
So that's what I see with him.
Okay, interesting.
But so you're right. You caught it.
Yeah.
And that's,
It's, some people are in love with Gavin Newsom here in California. They're like, they drink up the Gavin Newsom Kool-Aid.
Black and white. It's literally you love him or you hate him.
Yeah, and then there's certain groups that are just a little bit like you have to woo me over a bit. And I feel he just alienated with the group that he was still wooing as opposed to locking down. So
right.
I think it's a bit more work on his part.
Yeah.
I love, what we'll do? Or actually, do you want to read on the No Kings protest that's going to happen March 28th? We're seeing potentially record numbers with that protest. I'm so curious if people are going to wear Halloween costumes again. We could even see Trump's reaction to it, because the last time we had the No Kings protest, he demolished the East Wing. So I imagine, what's the energy around the protest, and then what's Trump's response? Those would be great questions.
So let's look at the protests first, and then we'll look at his response to it. But you're right. I'm seeing massive turnouts.
Yeah. October 20th was the largest single day protest that we ever had. The previous one was the Women's March in 2017. And the audience, though, for the October 20th No Kings protest was predominantly 50s and 60s. And when we saw George Floyd protest, that was actually younger people, 20s, 30s.
Right.
And so there is a potential that those people will become active during this potential protest. Yeah.
I see it. I also see, I feel like they're going to try some fear factors beforehand to scare people from going out, and then also suppression of media. But yeah, I see strong, massive strength here, massive support, and yeah. Let's see. So you have the Strength card, the Queen of Cups, the King of Pentacles, so that, yeah, and then the Star card. So a lot of strong cards coming out. So that strength, powerful, and people showing up.
Okay, so really big numbers. So that's going to be a moment where we feel like humanity is working for us. Like things are. It's a good.
It always feels good, and people go, "Well, what does a protest do?" Well, it really energizes. It lifts up the vibration and frequency. Remember, we're all energy.
Yeah.
We're all frequency, and and everything is.
Yeah.
So to shift that, we need that.
Yeah, and the multiplier effect of people, like when you go to one of your spiritual retreats, when people are in their room together, it's the multiplier effect of the veil being thinner. And so I think being with people that care the same values, being activated as opposed to behind your screens is so healing for folks. So I could see that being very, very positive. What is Trump's reaction? What does he do? the evening after, the afternoon after? Yeah. Does he demolish the West Wing?
What is he doing? Oh gosh, what is he up to? Okay, yeah. So he is going to do something.
Okay.
But you have that self-centered. He's self-centered, jealousy. So it is going to affect him. So that's good. We want, you know what I mean? He will. Okay, so these are the first two cards I'm looking at. They both came in reverse.
Oh, he's stuck. Oh, wow. Yeah. Ungrounded. Yep.
Yeah, very stuck. Very like, what am I going to do? Kind of aimlessly. Yeah. And then you have his third card coming in reverse as well. And it's that Three of Wands in reverse. So again, frustrated. But he's going to create obstacles. He's going to respond in taking something away, or in his, he's going to take some kind of action, kind of to punish the American people in some way.
Okay. Try to also seize back the narrative, because the news will be covering this so much. He'll want to do something to seize the airlines. Sorry, airwaves in terms of what the attention is about. Yeah. Very interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if it's something with Iran because of the. Yeah. Okay. So folks, so March 20th is a bright light for us in terms of, but there is a bit of a, how will Trump react? But regardless of how Trump reacts, we're going to reach a new level of interconnectedness, of feeling taken care of, and hope kind of emerging for all of us. Okay, so we're now moving into March's energies. Let's do a little infomercial bit on both sides, and then we'll have you, Deb, pull your tarot for the week. And then we'll go into the astrology, and then we'll end on the game. So let me do mine real quick. How do I share my screen? So folks, I don't have a YouTube channel, but I have a newsletter. If you pull your phone out and scan this, you'll be added. I have a class next week. March 3rd is my new moon, full moon manifestation class. This is a class where we teach manifestation, but in a very scientific method. So this is not you selling all your possessions and embracing this ideology. This is more about you creating a separate track in your life where you do experiments in this ideology and just see what happens. So we use a lot of neuroscience. We use a lot of, design thinking to kind of ideate this future. And it's very mature. So it's a very slow way to incrementally add it to your life. So if you're someone who wants to kind of unpack this concept, we have space both in the AM class and the PM class, the PM class in the afternoon. So we can accommodate multiple time zones. Very detailed curriculum, as well as everyone receives a 30-page personalized worksheet. So not only does the worksheet help you absorb the information we learn in class, but you can also use the worksheet afterwards if you want to use the new moon and full moon for manifestation purposes. I also have a signature reading called the 2025-2026 Paradigm Shift, which has to do with the times we're in. And it's doing some really cool, nice collaborative things. And there's a clear overall story that emerges. And then I also have my calendar for 2026. And right now, folks who purchase the calendar will receive it up to March of 2027. So you're going to have 15 pages. And I'm also working on a booster video that's going to really help people understand astrology. And this calendar, at the heart of it is, you're going to learn astrology, but you're going to learn astrology by going through your chart. You're the center of this calendar. It's about you, what's happening in your life. And so as you're predicting things for yourself, you will learn astrology along the way. So it's like the best way to kind of learn astrology, as opposed to, being in a classroom and just learning these concepts. You're learning it and quickly applying it for yourself.
For sure.
And what about you, Deb? Do you have anything else that's coming up for you?
Right now we have our forensics class that still has spots open. If you're interested, you want to go to kevinlewismedium.com and register for if you're interested in forensic mediumship. And that's the class that's up right now. But other than that, I'm doing my regular things. If you're interested in just sitting with me and working through whatever, I'm all here for you guys. And yeah, that's up.
Okay. So folks,
normal.
Yeah, and also Deb does amazing mediumship readings as well as psychic readings. We actually just had a session the other day where Deb read my energies for 2026. We went month to month, and she also picked up on things, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, that just happened. Deb picked up on something that happened a month ago, and I ran into someone, I'll just say that, and I had not seen this person in 15 years. And Deb picked up, like, did this just happen? And I was like, yes, it did just happen. So Deb is the real deal if you don't know it by now. Okay, so let's do the tarot. Let me do tarot because Deb, I'm always impressed with your tarot pulls for the week. Let me just share really quick though the week, the calendar for how do I press that? There we go. So folks, this is the month of March. So Deb, we're going to look at this we're going to have you pull, I guess, 5 weeks if you want, or do you want to?
Well, I did 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
And
okay.
so the last week is through the 31st. So I extended that 22nd to the 31st.
March 22nd to March 31st. Okay, then I'll stop sharing this and then we'll go straight into your cards. Go ahead. And so the first week is March 1st to the 7th. What do you have?
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and I know that we're just going to do a little bit different view right now where we're doing the cards. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. So we're looking at our first week, the energy for the first week of March, and we're starting out strong with 2 major arcana cards, the Hermit and the World. So this is significant energy coming in. In general, the Hermit would, offer this isolation feel to it, introspection, strategy, pulling inward, and that's okay, and then you have the World is where it offers this culmination of things coming together and a completion of things, something really reaching the end of the cycle. But if we're going to look specifically, and I do kind of enter the energy just specifically for Trump because we all want to know. And So to me, this combination really says to me that he's planning something here.
Mm,
He's and like a something something public. He wants some kind of closure. He wants it to close. He's trying to plan something. He wants you know, he wants something wrapped up.
I wonder if that's Ukraine and Russia.
Okay, it could
Like he
be.
wants that to be resolved. Zelensky made a speech
It's a
months ago.
global thing.
Yeah,
This
it's a
is
global thing.
definitely
Yeah,
something global.
yeah.
So it's not just a little thing. It's
Mhm.
involves something. It's not small. It's a
Yeah,
big thing.
Zelensky made a speech where he said he thinks Putin or Trump is pressuring them to end the war by June so that he can claim it as a victory for the midterms or something like that. So there was something about there's a push in June. So perhaps what you're feeling is there is a push there. Yeah.
Okay. So then we go into week 2,
Okay.
and we have the Page of Cups in reverse and the Six of Swords. This
Mm.
energy coming in. And so this is an emotional messaging, it feels like, but it doesn't land well,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So and paired with that Six of Swords, which
Mhm.
is like transition or moving from rough waters to something better. It kind of talks about some sort of something that with this combination, something that tries to message out, but it falls flat.
Mhm. Mhm.
So this should be interesting. I feel like they're trying to narrate something
Mhm.
and gather the people to go this direction with something, and the messaging doesn't hit.
It potentially could be the starting to plant the seeds about Iran trying to get us ready to go to war with Iran, and maybe getting the American people ready not could backfire with how he's trying to paint it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, it could be also, we're talking about the files where
Mhm.
he's trying to paint something and it doesn't land. Like it's
Mhm.
not. So that week's not going to work out well for him. He's trying to shift the narrative this way,
Yeah.
and no one's following it. So it's kind of what we're going to look for on that week too.
Yeah.
Then we look at week 3. We have the Seven of Cups and the Eight of Swords, but in reverse. The Eight of Swords is coming
Mhm.
in.
Mhm.
All his shadiness and confusion and all that. But it this is going to be our week 3, and I think you said something about week 3 on the 18th. It's going to be, for me, when I look at this, a very complex,
Mhm.
energetic week. So a lot of complexities there coming through.
Mhm. Wow, 7 of Cups.
So you have that illusions and delusions and competing narratives and
And that's
too
reversed
many
too.
too many. So I feel like he's maybe another flood of the zone or something.
Yeah.
Um,
What would the 8 of Swords upside down be here?
yeah. So
It's like
this is kind of
taking
a
prisoners.
really, there's something that's been restricted that
Okay.
will be released.
Mm.
Breaking out of so some where you almost feel like you've been trapped in this way of thinking, but you're breaking through.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's offering that. Um, but for him specifically, I feel like it some whatever he's trying to move away from something and shift away from something, it's not working in his favor. So we're going to see
Mhm.
that for him that week. But for us, it's offering us to break out
Mhm.
of the illusion of what we've been being fed. And when I
Mhm.
say we, I'm not talking about us,
Yeah, yeah.
but you know who I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. Very
Um,
interesting.
yeah,
I don't like that. I don't like the cards like that. I don't like 7 of Cups and 8 of Swords reverse. That feels like a week I wanna avoid the news maybe, or just be moderate in terms of how I take it
mhm,
in.
mhm.
Um, It's funny too because the previous week Page of Cups is a Cups again and a Swords. You had Cups and
Yeah.
Swords the previous week and then Cups
So
and
a
Swords.
lot of that this month,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Okay. And then this last week, this big March 22nd to March.
Okay. Yeah. So the long week here, we have these cards and refreshing. We have the Eight of Pentacles
Interesting.
and the Two of Wands. So we're away from the Cups and the Swords.
Okay.
And so the end of this month feels very focused. So we're refocusing, we're regrounding. We're back to some really detailed, that gives a sense of detail and diligence and back to working and focus. We have a focus here. And with that Two of Wands too. So strategy. And you have this long-term plan coming in here, this feel of that, this recalibrating plan. So real shift here this week. So if we're looking at Trump specifically, he's trying to boop and go a new direction. Or redefining his plan for the future. It's not a reactive feel, it's more of a, intentional. It's not reactive to anything. And yeah, so it's not about him fighting fires and with fires and all the things. It's more of a week of intentional stuff.
Yeah.
So very strategic energy that week. So I didn't want to leave it with such heavy energy for us. So I did pull a couple cards for the overall collective for us.
Okay. In terms of what to do with.
Yeah. So what we can hold on to. And this is what feels most important for us. And so here we go. We have the,
oh, wow.
So we have the Ace of Swords and the Star card coming in. And when I saw these two cards drop in, it just felt like a big hug from the universe.
Yeah, very much.
You know what I mean? Like, and so the Star of Hope, the healing alignment after like such a really being intentional about stepping into this energy of healing. So overall, no matter what we feel during the month of March, it's not a tower. It's not a tower month.
No.
There's a lot happening. We're just tired.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we're very tired. Yes.
So it's not our biggest tower month.
No.
It's just we're tired. And so Spirit wants us to remember that. And
go ahead.
And it feels like a lot of clarity, a month of clarity. And so that's beautiful too. And so that clarity comes with a real grounded truth as well with this combination. And so we're coming out of denial. We're coming out of fantasy and illusion and delusion. And we're stepping into clarity and hope. So that's what I want to really feel like. I want to leave the collective with this. Yeah.
I think too, this Ace of Swords and Star really makes sense because when I look at the Page of Cups reverse and the Six of Swords, there's something about something not landing and we're moving out of denial and moving towards calmer waters, to the truth. And then the Seven of Cups and Eight of Swords reverse, there seems to be something coming to surface. There's some sort of revelation. We're moving away from denial. We're seeking the truth, but something is more revealed. And that could feel, emotional and like, wait, how do we recalibrate this? How do we face this? But that Ace of Swords is like, we're all moving towards clarity. We're all moving towards a better future, but there is a bit of that bumpy waters as we get there. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like it ending on 8 of Pentacles and 2 of Wands. 8 of Pentacles is like reaping what you sow. There's something about we're planting seeds, we're doing the long game. And 2 of Wands is also expanding. So there's some sort of expansion happening at the end of the month. Like we're
Mhm.
kind of having bigger horizons. Very
Yeah.
good. Well, that matches a bit of the astrology. Did you want to say anything
Yeah.
else before I switch over?
No, let's do
Okay.
it. Let's do it.
Okay, so when it comes to the astrology of March, folks, there are 2 dominant themes, 2 dominant flavors we're kind of moving through. The first one is when we look at March as a whole, we're going to see that the momentum starts to build. It's kind of like you're walking and then you're skipping and then you're running and moving into a jog as we move through all 31 days of March. And so March begins with a lunar eclipse in Virgo. So we have the second part of eclipse season, but this is a very gentle type of lunar eclipse. There's something about letting go of this Virgo perfectionism, this micromanaging. There's a let go and let God theme with this, which is really nice, of the surrender and being more, part of the universe. We also have the start of spring season, with the spring equinox. Sun moves into Aries and Venus also goes there. That's nice for both of them to be in Aries at the same time. Then we have more planets going direct. Both Jupiter and Mercury will be retrograding most of March, but then they start to move direct. And as they both happen to move direct, they are also loosely trining each other. So they were backward focused and now they're forward focused. And this is really something we're going to feel in terms of that directionality. So that's the first theme of March, is like you're walking, you're skipping, you're running. And then the second theme of March, it's not as important as the first one, but it also happens in the background, is Venus does some really cool things. Venus is like sextiling and trining and squaring, and it's also in Aries, which is a very action biased type of sign. So there's something about new starts, new breakthroughs, new relationships with money, values, getting clear about what's valuable for you and what's not. Venus mostly moves in Aries, so folks, if you have Aries placements, you're going to be blessed with Venus. And then Venus ends in Taurus, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. So not only are we having some positive moves with Venus, it ends on like it's one of its happiest signs. So we're going to even see a bigger boost. So keep in mind, if you've got Aries, Taurus placements, you're going to have a big boost in March. And then also if you have Pisces placement, there's some positive things happening there. So when we look at March as a whole, we're really looking at these 2 dates are the ones I want folks to be aware of. The first one is eclipse, the lunar eclipse in Virgo. And then the second one is the new moon that occurs 2 weeks later in Pisces. And while this new moon occurs, there's other kind of planets doing some cool things. The secondary theme is about how things are moving more direct. We have, Jupiter going direct, we have Mercury going direct, and then a lot of planets are moving into Aries, which is this forward momentum type of thing. And then in the background, Venus is doing a bunch of cool things as well. But when it comes to this month, just pay attention to these 2. And usually when we have lunar events, they could be a bit pushed apart. They might not be always related, but these 2 lunar events are kind of like Act 1, Act 2. They're very complementary towards each other. They're very, one starts something else off and then another one kind of moves it further, moves that goal and progress further. So the first one we have is lunar eclipse in Virgo. And I don't know if you're, I always talk to different readers, like, what's eclipse season? Pop quiz. What is that, Deb? Eclipse season, folks, is a redirect. It's a cosmic redirect. It's where the universe comes over and says, hey, we're just going to rotate you and we're going to have you go this way now. And redirects can feel a lot because it's like someone else coming in and redirecting you. This can feel like a discombobulated, like, wait, why am I experiencing change? It's not positive or negative. I mean, in theory, spiritually, it's very positive because it wants you to be more aligned to the right timeline. But we don't like change, especially if we weren't given the memo. If you're not familiar with astrology and you were not informed about eclipse season, it can feel jarring. But this lunar eclipse is basically a full moon. But this lunar eclipse is like 10 full moons. So there's a lot of oomph in terms of the energy. And a full moon is about releasing. It's about things coming to surface so you can let them go. It's about confronting things from the past so you can let that go and you don't have to carry it anymore. And so the theme of this one is let go and let God. There's something about letting go of the details, letting go of the need to micromanage everything, and just letting the universe sort of help you there. There is a focus on perhaps decluttering, where are places in your life where you have bad habits, bad routines, or you're too controlling in certain areas, you're too focused on the details. It wants you to see the forest instead of focusing on the trees. And Mercury is retrograding during this lunar eclipse. So there's a focus on looking backwards. There's a focus on the internal chatter that happens in your mind, the ticker tape of thoughts, and letting that go. So folks, usually eclipse season's pretty intense, but this one can feel intense because if our culture is very action oriented, very much capitalistic, like what did you do? What did you perform? What did you achieve? This lunar eclipse can feel destabilizing because it's not asking you any of that. It's asking you to take a step back, embrace the stillness, and just pause and just sit with it and be in that energy more. So very powerful. This one is not good for Trump. I won't go super into it, but this is not, this is one of 4 back-to-back lunar events that are very, very difficult for him. And then we have 2 weeks later, the new moon in Pisces. And this new moon in Pisces is, again, very complementary to the lunar eclipse in Virgo. So this new moon in Pisces is officially closing eclipse season. So it's really integrating what we experienced the previous 4 weeks. But in Pisces, it's about new starts, new beginnings, planting new seeds. And during this new moon in Pisces, the other planets are doing some really cool things. Venus is squaring Jupiter. I think it's actually very positive when they square. It's creating a lot of energy that you can redirect towards things. And then the sun is sextiling Uranus and Taurus. So with this new moon in Pisces, it's very likely the veil will be thin during this time. This is a great time to book a psychic reading, to practice tarot, to try to meditate, and try to communicate with your guides and your team. Very powerful, very potent, kind of with all this type of energy. The invitation here is very similar to the lunar eclipse in Virgo. It's asking you to practice solitude, add more stillness, maybe attend a silent retreat, or just meditate more that day. Practice the art of doing nothing, notice any interesting dreams. This is asking us to kind of coexist with the parts that are undefined, that are not resolved, and not trying to resolve all of them. So very positive with both of them. And this one, unfortunately, folks, is actually a little bit better for Trump. There are some tension aspects happening, but the March 3rd event, it was a lot more difficult for him than this one. There's something about things kind of softening for him. But the previous 4 lunar events were so intense that he's going to have quite a bit to recover from for the rest of the year before he's really receiving the softness of this March 18th new moon in Pisces. So it kind of really matches with what you were picking up too, this ending on 8 of Pentacles and 2 Wands, because folks, April is going to feel like rocket fuel. You're going to see a lot of changes in April, a lot of movement in April. So really allow March to give you some space to kind of catch your thoughts, catch your thinking, regain your footing, being in this energy of acting instead of reacting and whack-a-mole in different ways. And because April is going to be a lot of change, and it's going to be really important for you to be in the right headspace around all of that. Yeah. So any thoughts, Deb, on what I shared?
Well, that's a lot. It does feel like a month of, again, clarity. And I like, it just feels like that Hermit card too, where it's time for reflection and gaining, that connection to truth and spirit and peace, and focusing a lot on that. I think March is giving us that opportunity to get out of the madness as much as possible. And it sounds like we have to prepare for April.
April is, a lot of planets move into Aries.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So folks, especially the world stage, I don't expect any Iranian strikes in March. If it is March, it'll be the very last week. But I would say April is the month to really pay attention to, because we also have Mars moving into Aries.
Oh, okay. So
yes, fire. Yeah, war, military. That's exactly the vibe of all of it. Yeah.
So we will be back to go over April again with you all.
Yes, and you'll be pulling cards on the weeks there as well.
Yeah.
So so should we end on the game?
Yeah, we're going to do the game, you guys. So if you remember the game.
I have a little slide for it if you want me to share it.
Yep.
There we go. And let me grab my deck. But yeah, you can start to introduce it.
Okay, so what we do is we both will pull a card from a tarot deck, and we want you just to focus on the cards. You can pause the video if you need to, just to settle into the energy. You can do some writing down. I'm just reading your things here. Yeah, so you can just allow your pen to write or draw. Note any impressions of colors, shapes, words, sounds, smells. Stay grounded, and then we love for you to come in the comments and post what you got.
Yes. Oh my gosh, so many folks actually got it right last time.
Yeah, last time we had a lot of folks that nailed it right on, but also take it as a win when you get similar colors or feelings. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, it's also just speaks to our community, because folks, as much as you're seeing Deb and myself here on camera, I want to say 80%, 90% of you in the audience are intuitive, are psychic as well. But because I think if you watch us, you know Deb can do it because subconsciously you can do it. Like, and you're just sort of trying to understand maybe how to access that on your own. So folks,
it's just about remembering.
Yeah, exactly.
It's remembering that you are all connected to the collective consciousness and the highway of information that's all right here. We're going to help you remember. All right. So here's our cards.
Okay.
And yeah, you want to put yours up too?
Yes. So folks, feel free to pause the video here if you want to just feel into it for a minute or so before we will start to one by one flip it over. Okay. Do you want to go first, Deb?
All right, I'll go first.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
I hope the universe is telling that to us right now.
I think so.
Yeah.
Hold on to this, guys.
Yeah, things will all work out.
Yep. And what was your card?
Well, it's interesting because I feel like this is also a message for me as well. Sometimes we have to make some hard choices, though. We have to make some difficult decisions and hard choices. So it's don't cut your nose to spite your face. Just know we have to. We're the wisdom of the decision. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Awesome.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you, Ness.
Of course, thank you.
And we are so grateful for this community and your comments and your coming along with us through each month, as well as playing along with the intuition game. And yeah, we love you, and we will see you for next month.
Yes.
But in between, you know where to find us.
Yeah.
We love you.
Yes.
Thank you, Ness.
Of course. Bye, everyone.